Back to Patmos, or Prophetic Outlooks. Written by A.B. Simpson. Copyright 1914. Back to Patmos. Introduction. The unparalleled conditions in the world today, especially the appalling world war, with all its possibilities of protracted sufferings and far-reaching complications, combine to give peculiar interest to prophetic study. Like the men of Issachar, we should have understanding of the times to know what Israel ought to do. Our blessed Master came back for a second time to revisit the earth on which he had poured out his life and gave to John on Patmos the last prophetic word of the Holy Scriptures, pronouncing a special benediction on those who read and keep the words of this prophecy, and admonishing us that the time was at hand, and that the fulfillment of these prophetic visions was to be expected in this present age. In his last prophetic message on the slopes of Olivet, he himself had told us of a time when there should be on earth distress of nations with perplexity, seas and waves roaring, men's hearts failing them for fear and for looking after those things which should happen on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaken. At the same time, he added the special note of hope and warning to his own disciples. When these things begin to come to pass, lift your heads and look up, for your redemption draweth nigh. These things seem to have already begun to come to pass, and the attitude of the waiting followers of Christ is a very solemn one. It seems fitting that we should turn back to Olivet and Patmos for the sure word of prophecy, unto which we do well to take heed until the day dawn and the dark day star arise in our hearts. It is hoped that this little booklet, gathering up in a focus of light and hope the Master's latest messages concerning his coming, may help us in some measure to have understanding of the times, and to lift up our heads and look up, for our redemption which draweth nigh. End of the introduction of Back to Patmos, or Prophetic Outlooks, being read by Dr. Peter John Paresis.